How long should a writer spend perfecting that first paragraph before moving on? Someone asked me that question. It sounds like they're torturing themselves, getting it just perfect, and then spending forever on it, then slowly moving down to the next paragraph and doing the same thing in the next and the next. And in my opinion, that's not how writing is done. Writing is done in broad strokes, at least on every TV show I've done and in the book that I've written. It's broad strokes first. So if you think of it like painting, there used to be a guy named Bob Ross who was on PBS, and he had a show, and he kind of talked like this. He was really laid back and kind of mellow, and he had his hair out to here. And he would do these oil paintings, these nature scenes, and he would tell you how he was painting it as you were watching him. It was kind of fun to watch him do all this. And so he wouldn't start in the top corner of the canvas and make that perfect, and then slowly, 10 minutes later, move down, and then make that perfect and move down. And that's not how he did it. He would just take some orange and some pink paint, slap it together on the canvas, slap, 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 and he would say, there, that's going to be the sunset. And you're like, really? And then he'd take a blue line, whoop, like a vertical line. That will be the river at some point. And you're like, really? I don't see a river. But then he would add layers. He would blend it together and then add layers, and then slowly it would start to take shape. And the very last thing he did was add the shadows and the eyes on the bird or whatever the hell it was. The detail was the last thing he did. And I feel like writing, in everything I do, it's that way. So when I'm writing on a TV show, same thing. We'll have a team of writers working full time, breaking the story. And that means we're just talking about the shape of the story, the storylines. We're talking about potential act breaks. Not one word has been written, but we'll spend easily a week trying to get the broad shape of this. Then one writer will go off and write an outline. They'll get notes, the first draft notes, all that stuff. But the details come last, very last. Same thing when I wrote my book. It's a collection of true short stories. It's required reading, by the way, on this channel. I didn't tell you that. Anyway, that's the same thing, because I had a woman in one of my lives saying, how did you do that? How did you tie it all together so nicely? And I'm just like, I didn't do all that tying together until maybe the 35th or 40th draft. It was many, many drafts. And it's only when it started to take shape, then I would say, oh, okay, I can call back this moment if I set it up over here, and then I can tie it together. Or here's the theme I didn't even notice. I can keep on hitting this theme throughout, and it'll seem like I'm already, I know what I'm doing. But that's all last minute stuff that I discover. I let myself discover it. And so had I spent all this time perfecting that first paragraph, I guarantee you, by the time I finished the piece, I would have said, oh, that first paragraph is all wrong. It's going to be wrong, so don't waste time perfecting that first paragraph, or even the second. Just slap it down, move forward, that way you can look at the whole piece as a whole and understand it that way. And so, that's my best advice for you. Just give yourself the freedom to make it horrible at first, knowing that you will fix it as time progresses. My book is called The Paper Orchestra. Signed copies are available at michaeljamin.com/book. You can also get the audio version on Audible and Spotify and Apple. Thank you for the question. For more, keep following me at Michael Jamin Writer.